What's up, guys? Welcome to the review of the LA Kappa Customs Poison DF1 slide, collaboration with SpeakQB. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm really excited about this, so let's get into it. Okay, first off, you'll notice this packaging, pretty cool. Little window in the front to view, nice SpeakQB logo on the ends, and some details, QR code on the other end. I really like that. It's a big step up in packaging.
Yeah, boy.
Compared to the LA Kappa Conqueror. Personally, I didn't really like the white, but I guess some people really liked it, so that's up to you. So this is definitely fancy, although it's definitely increasing the price of the slide a little bit. I think overall it's worth it, just for the aesthetic. So it kind of slides out nicely like this. And in the packaging, you'll get fiber optics. They won't come installed. You'll install it yourself, but there's a green and a red pair, which is very nice. That's great. And the built-in sights, you'll notice that immediately. You'll also notice a 4.3 guide plug, and it does come with a little spacer in, so you can add extra short stroke if you really want to. You'll also notice a cloth for wiping it down. I'm not exactly sure why I need that, but I guess I'll use this to wipe it down. And that's about it for the inside of the packaging, I think. Nice foam, so nothing's getting damaged, and it's securely fit in there, so that's great. All right, with that out of the way, let's really start talking about the slide. Your biggest features are all these cuts, making it pretty lightweight, and the built-in sights. The built-in sights are saving you a lot of weight. They're saving you buying extra sights for, sights can run between $40 and $80, so that can really help. The price tag on this slide is $150 US. So this is actually a pretty good deal if you like these sights. Now, if you don't like these sights, then you're out of luck, but I think they have a pretty aggressive style to them that's really great. Let's talk about something I don't like all that much, and that's these tabs. They're designed for you to be able to rack it back and not have to worry about having a cocking handle or anything like that. So it makes it easier to grip. Personally, I think it's a waste of material there. Without that material, they could make it a lot lighter of a slide. I think if I were to design a slide, I'd get rid of that. Personally, I'm able to grip the slide myself, especially if with all these cuts, and it makes it pretty easy. The 4.3 guide plug is a great benefit. It gets you a lot of short stroke. Personally, I don't like the 4.3 look, so I actually use my Airsoft Masterpiece 5.1 guide plug, and what I've actually been noticing is on the AM one, it's kind of beating it up a little bit. It's a little bit scuffed, but on the LA Kappa Customs one, it's almost perfectly fine. So there is that difference there. If you are using a silver one, it does look to be a little bit beat up because of that. Okay, let's get into my biggest criticism of the slide, and that is an issue that's come up. I believe it's affecting 20% of the slide, so about 1 in 5 have this issue.
Nice.
This little bridge right here, you can see it's silver. This little bridge right here, the blowback unit fits into it. And the issue that some people are having is, depending on the blowback unit you have and depending on the nozzle will actually catch on that little bridge. I believe this has been an issue with some Airsoft Masterpiece slides in the past. They kind of fixed it. But this is the biggest issue with this slide. This is the 100% the largest con. What you're gonna have to do is take like a small jewelry file or some sandpaper and just rub it in there for a little bit. It's not a lot of material. We're talking just taking off the anodization is pretty much enough for you to get that clearance that you need. It's very close. In terms of difficulty, I'd rate this 2 out of 10. If you have the sandpaper on hand, this is a very easy job, or if you have a jewelry file, very easy job. You don't have to do any type of special dremeling. COVID. All right, the next thing I'd like to talk about is the design. Overall, the design of this slide is excellent. With all these cuts, you're losing a ton of weight, which is really great. Makes it a really snappy slide. Another thing I like is the individual serial number. You can see I have number 119 right here. That's pretty cool. You are gonna notice wear, your biggest places for wear are here. Of course, with the outer barrel, if you're running a steel outer barrel, you're gonna notice that you're gonna have to wear that down a little bit to get your nozzle to go through. And I also noticed nozzle on the inside to the outer barrel, right about here, pretty significantly, right on the inside and on the other side right there. This is very typical for a slide. The next thing I want to talk about is fitment. So let's look at that. This is the Airsoft Masterpiece Advanced Frame. I have polished these two rails in the past to lower it down to fit more slides. And I believe this side has had a very small polish, just that anodization removed from it to make it a little more compatible. So this is pretty much the standard frame. There's nothing crazy been done to this frame. Let's fit it on there. So if you're looking from the back end, the side-to-side movement is perfect, almost none, and the up-down is perfect, almost none. I think this frame fitment is by far the best we've seen from LA Kappa Customs yet. And just for comparison, I'll show you some other slides. Let's start with the LA Kappa Conqueror. This slide would have been probably the best slide that's ever been on the market, but their rail dimensions weren't quite perfect. So let's look at that. So if you're looking at this slide, it has a good bit of side to side and a lot of up and down. So you can see how I'm able to kind of twist this slide and you can hear that. So that was the downfall of this slide. Here's an Airsoft Masterpiece slide just for comparison. This is the Formula V2 Infinity slide, and I'll just slide that on. And with this one, you can see a little bit of diagonal, not a whole lot of side to side. So this is great. I think LA Kappa is moving in the right direction with the tighter tolerances than Airsoft Masterpiece, because this slide will fit great on a TM, and it will fit great on Airsoft Masterpiece Advanced frames, and also the new LA Kappa custom frames. It's gonna be great on there. I will note that these don't work as good with the 9-ball frame. The 9-ball frame's anodization is just a little too thick, and there is definitely some fitment needed. If you're gonna use a 9-ball frame, you can do it. It's just a little bit tight. So keep that in mind if you're planning on using a 9-ball frame, that it will be tight. But I think this is great, especially compared to the Airsoft Masterpiece slides and the LA Kappa Custom slides. This is a great option with the rear sights built in. I don't really like the charging handle area, but that's personal preference. The real downfall on this slide is this bridge area, and every slide is going to have its own little issue. That bridge area, for newer Airsoft players, could be a little bit intimidating, but I really don't think it's that big of an issue. Compared to this slide with the wobble, I think that turns away more of the experienced players. A lot of collectors really don't like to see that wobble, but overall this is a very good design slide. And the Airsoft Masterpiece slide is right there in the middle, where there's nothing crazy nice about it and there's nothing poor about it. The fitment works fine on this. So definitely keep in mind that you are going to have those sights built in, which is either great or not so great, depending on how you feel about it. Let's see if we can install some things. So starting off, so different blowback units will fit a little bit differently. This is just a stock Tokyo Marui blowback unit that we're going to use for the test, with a stock Tokyo Marui nozzle and an AIP 140 spring. And this, in this slide, is very fast. I think it exceeds expectation because of just how light this slide is with the integrated sights. Because these stock Tokyo Marui sights are pretty heavy. They're just made of cheap pot metal. Having them built in CNC 75 aluminum, excellent upgrade. So we'll start by putting this in, and this fits, the stock Marui blowback unit fits in great. I had a really old UAC blowback unit that I'd have to file that bridge down a little bit more to fit the nozzle in, and an Airsoft Masterpiece blowback unit should fit fine. So just keep that in mind. There is a chance, it's a 1 in 5, 20% chance that you are gonna have to just sand that down just ever so gently. And that's really the biggest drawback. But this is overall an excellent slide. Let's see if we can get an outer barrel in here. Nicely, excellent. And We're using a AIP, I believe this is a 120% recoil spring on stock guide rod with the new LA Kappa short stroke. Plug to them, they did a great job on these. I really like these. And I'm also going to use my Airsoft Masterpiece 5.1 guide rod. And like I went over earlier, there's that little plug in there, and it actually adds more short stroke than you can regularly achieve. And especially if you were to use a Cow RM1 guide rod with their short stroke kit and that little plug on the 4.3, you can have the most short stroke build that's ever been built. You can have the shortest slide stroke ever if you choose to do that. So keep that in mind. If you're a speed demon, this might be the slide for you. It fits on there. I'll just show you guys how this looks real quick. So this is how it looks. I think it looks really great, especially in the daylight. They come in all types of colors. The purple slide is, I think, my favorite right now. But this black one really looks clean. You'll notice that you'll be able to see your blowback unit. So if you get a colored blowback unit, you'll be able to see that. Your outer barrel's pretty nicely exposed. If you have a nice outer barrel, you'll be able to see your guide rod. So if you have a colored guide rod, keep that in mind. And you'll also be able to see your short stroke. So if you want to color match your short stroke, you can do that as well. And this one really shows off the guide plug as well quite nicely. It's a pretty crisp build, even with that Airsoft Masterpiece. So next, we'll get into some shooting, and I'll show you guys that. It's pretty great. Okay, we're back. The shooting on this is great. Even with the stock blowback unit, it's pretty wicked. You could upgrade a blowback unit easily and get even better performance. This is definitely a nice slide. On a scale of 10, where 5 is an average Airsoft Masterpiece slide, this is what I would rate this slide a 5. I would rate this slide a 6 because of the great cuts and great design work that they did, but the fitment just wasn't quite great. This would be a 7 if the fitment was perfect, but it's a 6 because of that. And this slide here, I would definitely rate it a 6 as well. It would be a 7, maybe a 7.5 if you didn't have to sand that little bridge. And actually on their next new slide that's gonna come out, the LA Kappa Limcat version of their slides, their take on that is going to be the bridge is almost completely removed, and I've actually seen the early drawings and they look great. And that issue won't be proceeding any longer. So it's really great to see the company moving in the right direction, correcting mistakes from one to another and really perfecting their design. I think that's really great. That brings us to the end of the video, so if you guys want to like and subscribe, that'd be great. And if you want a small discount on the LA Kappa Custom Store, use code CADEN, C-A-D-E-N in all caps, and that will get you a discount. And if you have any questions, leave a comment, or if you want to suggest a video, maybe I'll do your video request. I believe the next review that we're going to have out is going to be of the frame or of the LA Kappa Customs blowback unit. So stay tuned for more reviews of these new products, and catch you next time.